that beginning of death.
Welcome to Parapausal Campfire Stories.
I just wanted to come on really quickly and say thank you to all our new subscribers. We love you. And we hope that you continue to enjoy Parapausal's hot flashes and paranormal chills. Now, on with the show.
With special guest, paranormal soul brother, Xandean.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's go.
John Mack, Robert John Mack, talk about, sometimes they put something in place and every now and then people get through it. Not saying that happened to you, but, if you're seeing them that many, that amount of time, it shouldn't be by coincidence. I mean, it should be by coincidence because a lot of that is, I believe that there's incidental contact, there's telepathic contact when you reaching out. And spiritually, I think people, when you say you're praying, whoever you pray to when you get scared, I pray, I pray to God, I believe in Jesus, but and that's a complicated thing too, which we can talk about another time too. But I believe that your frequency is higher. Like when you walking kind of with no blemishes, you had a good week, and you're not mad at nobody. You're not hurting anybody. You're just being a good person. You feel like good feeling, and you're a good neighbor. You're a good person. Those high frequencies, your atoms, your body are moving at a detectable frequency by anything that's of higher technology. That's for sure. So, like your biological choice based on your frequency, because your frequency is going to have your cells right, and your healthy. So if you're healthy, you kind of feel like, so today, do you feel like going out looking? Yeah, I feel pretty good today. That's a biological choice, but you're feeling good. It all works together. So like those mood rings in the 1970s, where they had, where you can see the color, you're like that to higher technology, to God. If you want to say it's angels, you want to say it anybody, you could be seen like it's nothing, so I do believe that with, I wouldn't say I believe with them. I do think that, back to what you were saying, I think all of it's relevant when you're talking about reaching out or trying to contact, because you've been seeing them all this stuff since your whole life. You don't know. Sometimes if you're in your house and you think about, oh man, I want to see something, or watching this program, if you think about it subliminally enough, you've got 70 million volts, 370 trillion cells at 400 billion bits per second processing information. So if that's really in you, people don't realize how powerful you are. Those things, something will come to you, even beyond what they call archetype, where they say, oh, you've been thinking about it so much, you put it in existence. Well, we could talk about that too, because your family, if your grandfather talked about it, if your great-grandfather, there's epigenetics. That goes through the cell. All that experience, people think, oh, no, that's just emotional. They didn't prove that. But at Stanford University, they had Eleanor Rodriguez, who had research on cells with basically no definition. So a neutral cell locked in a vacuum where there's no influence. It's not Johnny, it's not Christy, it's not me, it's not Staci, with any intent on it. The minute Staci walks in, whatever her intent was, those atoms start forming a spin that's dictated to what she's thinking. That reality forms. So they've already proven in labs that, like, what you think. So I'm thinking, if an atom bomb can affect the whole universe, and they start coming here because we manipulated atoms, which we just found out about quantum entanglement. Meaning.
Okay, let's wait on that. Yeah, let's wait on that part.
We just found out that. Yeah, a piece of you and two pieces of you, no matter where they are in the world, will always know, hey, at the exact instant time what they're doing. So we know that a communication on that level, she's been seeing since she's been 2. There's some kind of connection. Maybe they come to you in your sleep. Maybe they, maybe you've had dreams. Who knows what the modality is, but they can do a lot of things.
Or maybe the ones that you're seeing are just the watchers and the ones that sit back and take notes?
Well, see, because that's the majority of my sightings happened when I lived at a specific place.
Mm-hmm.
And out there was there were a fresh spring running constantly,
Okay.
quartz deposits,
Huh.
and we could see them every night for at least 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Like anybody in the area, like we would go get our neighbors and be like, "Hey, did you see that?" "Yep, we see him."
Wow.
And I would love for someone to go out there and study that
Area.
specific area.
Yeah. Okay. And then when we come back next in a couple of days, or we're going to go ahead and break it here, but we'll discuss, maybe the people are in certain areas or what kind of draws them to
Maybe
those
I was in a
areas.
flight path.
Yeah. Or are there aliens that are given specific jobs, and maybe that's why you haven't gotten abducted, and some people do get abducted and other people don't get abducted. So next time on we will discuss that next time on Parapausal Campfire Stories. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I hope that you have a blessed day. Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love
Thank
y'all.
you.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to just go into the intro. We got a quick outro, and then we'll do an intro. So, hi everyone, and welcome back to Parapausal Campfire Stories, our continued discussion on aliens. And last couple of days ago, what we were talking about was are aliens drawn to certain spots, and maybe why they're drawn to certain spots and people. So Christy was discussing that she would like to go ahead and she would love for at least her place to be, that she used to have, be investigated. But you were saying that your place that you used to live had a spring there.
Yes.
So it was a natural spring. And what else do you think might have drawn so many sightings that you had?
Okay, so it had a natural spring
Okay.
that ran basically down both sides of the property and met at like a V in the back. Very large quartz deposits. Very near, we're going to say, I'm not saying they were necessarily spiritual sites for Native Americans,
Okay.
but the Native American culture, super, super heavy there. Okay. Also, within 5 miles is where we had the spook light,
Oh, yeah.
Little People Bridge.
Oh.
Nice.
Now, I don't think Xandean do you know about Little People Bridge?
No.
Okay. We'll get back to that here in a minute. Johnny, have you heard about it? You don't remember? Yeah, you don't. I can't remember if we talked about it on your.
I know about little people and fairies and where they were origin, but
Yeah,
Sorry,
these little people are not the ones you want to mess with.
Yeah, not good.
But so she basically what she's saying is that she is around a lot of she was in an area where there was a lot of weird, unexplained stuff going on.
I believe it's all connected too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was cryptids, just all kinds of, within 5 minutes. Like you could go from one to the other within 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you, by the way?
Northeast Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, okay. Actually, my grandfather came from there, but you know what? From
There's
Oklahoma.
a lot of stuff goes on here.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much. I mean, matter of I think that area is the most slept on. I think they keep it. I think they're keeping it secret for a reason, because like the pyramids, Egypt, all kind of stuff that's down there. UFOs. I mean, I have some relatives in Alabama too that I mean, they see them all the time. I mean, they send me pictures of them. You know, now I got them into some. You know, say, hey, look, my thing is different. My thing is a spiritual thing. Whatever I get, you know, because people are like, well, are you scared of this demons? This that. Listen, what if I call out to who I call out to and a demon come? There's no help for nobody. So
Right.
I'm yeah. Like if I call out to God and you know demon, so it's not happening. And I just study
No.
demonology. I mean that demonology is a whole nother thing. But
Mhm.
Alabama, Oklahoma, those areas, like I think, and
The
I
four
think you
state
probably agree
area.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Missouri, I mean everything down there is. I think they're keeping it secret. I don't know what the Grand Canyon was too much for them to handle. They already saw what would happen once people got a hold to that. So
Mm.
when they knew that, they probably had to say, "Hey, look, Oklahoma, Alabama, shh, be quiet."
I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. Johnny, what do you think about, whether or not being different areas? Are they keeping the aliens keeping their little hot spots a secret? What's kind of your idea about stuff?
As Christy was just describing the area and describing what's in there, and you would see frequent every night for like 20, 30 minutes traveling through. Okay.
Well, they wouldn't necessarily be just. They would stop.
Uh-huh.
Always a cluster, never just one.
Okay. So
And they would move around that small area of the sky.
Yeah. Okay.
20
now
to 30
don't-
minutes.
20 to 30 minutes. Okay. So here in our time, we've just now, I mean, just recently within the past 20 years, we've got wireless charging for our electronic devices. Okay? What if these fields, all these quartz fields and these creeks and
Batteries.
everything, are a big charging zone for these UFOs? And so they're
That's probably what it is. That's a good
they're
point. That's
hanging
probably
out
what
for
it
30
is.
minutes. They're charging before taking off.
That's probably what it is.
And I want to mention something else, but this hopefully we can talk about more in depth after more people have had a chance to look into it
Okay.
on the podcast. But I would like for you guys to look up the Ozark Triangle.
Ooh,
Okay.
I've heard
heard
of it. Yeah.
I've heard of
Yeah.
it.
I'll have to study up a little bit more, but yeah, let's look into
And
that.
Ozarks. Yeah, there's some weird stuff. People come up missing. All kinds. It's not. Yeah, it's not. That's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was,
Cryptids.
and I want to say this because I feel like it ties into the alien thing.
Okay.
Like you said, lots of disappearances, right? In 2017, a five or 6 year old girl went missing while on a hike with her family.
Hmm.
They found her. They searched for her. They used dogs. They used airplanes, helicopters, ground search, everything to find this child.
Mm-hmm.
She was found in 2022 in a cave, dressed in the same clothes and the same age that she was when she was abducted.
Oh.
And it was 60 miles away, right?
Yeah, like 50,
From
50
the
or 60.
site that, yeah.
And how many years?
5.
And she was the same age.
Had she aged?
No,
Same age.
same clothes,
Yeah.
same everything.
Disney did that to us back in the 80s with Flight of the Navigator.
I never saw that.
You got a point there.
Oh,
Oh no. Another movie I need to see.
yes.
But it was in an area of the Ozark Triangle.
The Flight of the Navigator movie?
No, the girl.
Oh, the missing
There's-
person.
Mhm.
Okay, but the
Well,
Flight of the Navigator, what are you saying with that movie?
So the premise of the movie is this kid got abducted and returned like years later, unaged.
Okay. All right.
And so then they re-abducted him and got him back
Yeah.
to his original timeline.
Well, these things that including Disney. I mean, we know. And by the way, we know that a lot of things they include are stuff like that is happening at CERN, the Large Collider.
Yes.
You know, dimension scientists talking to people in say 2023, somebody from 2026. You know, if for your viewers, if you take a page, if you had a book on a mantelpiece in the living room and it was open to say page 425, and you wanted to get to 426, well, what they're doing at CERN is instead of turning that page, they're taking copious amounts of energy every day and bombarding the third dimension. Bah, bah, bah. And what they do is they scratch through page 425 to 426. But that's opening a portal. People, I'm sure you guys know, they talked about the Mandela effect or different things that have happened to our timeline and alternate timelines. But yeah, so yeah, like what he said, as far as the back to what you said about the charging up, you know, about them charging up.
I
you
love
see with
that.
the lightning storms, they do that too, right? So I think, and she might live where transformers are, because when you're doing your for me, when I'm doing my praying, you know, I'll do like a prayer for like a 30-point prayer or whatever for, you know, the children, the radiation, whatever it is. But by the time I'm finished, I'm immersed in it, and I believe that, you know, that whatever I'm putting out there is there in a way, because you could go call my name and I wouldn't hear you at that point.
Right.
So it's like they've been doing that since the beginning of time. I mean, Moreau Institute documented. If you look at the Gateway tapes, the Moreau tapes, where they use numbers, they use breath, they use things, whatever it takes for you to, you know, to stay in that. I believe that they can charge on that energy too. You know, they're charging on people. If you look at now that all the mesh, well, you know, if you have the diabetic implant, if you have the things that register your vitals, they harness energy off of that. Whether people know 70 millivolts when you move, motion, when you sweat, perspire, they actually harness energy off of that. You know, you know, small amounts, but if you got billions of people, if you got enough people doing it, so anything's possible. But the area that she's in, I wonder, are there any transformers? Or is there any? And
No,
you know,
it's in the middle of nowhere.
Well, see,
Okay.
and that's what I was going to say. I'm wondering, and I'd love it if they could research this around the area, because we've got a lot of mining that happened around there. So
minerals, huh?
back when we were in, minerals. So back when we were in California, we had done a whole, I lived in a little town called Quintet, but the mountain range that we were living in had a lot of gold. And there was a lot of gold in and around that area. And we were saying that the aliens would come to these certain places because there's still enough gold deposit, and they used it like gas. So what you know, that's precious metal.
There's Von
and
Daniken, yeah.
Right. So if, like you guys are saying, they're using it as a charging station, I'm wondering if it's all that quartz is actually better than the gold, because quartz is what you use in the Wiccan religion. You know, we use a lot of crystals and things like that, but quartz is really easily, you can compact a lot of energy in that, but then you can also cleanse it and clear it and get it out of the way. So I'm wondering if, being in the ground, it has gotten all this energy that these spaceships have done, and they found a way to go ahead and get that out of there in order. That's so cool. I love this.
The crystals, yeah, that's a good point too. What do you think, Christy, about the crystals?
Oh, 100%. Because
Okay.
and it's not just quartz; it's also iron, zinc, and I can't remember what the third metal was. It wasn't nearly as mined as some of the other stuff.
Iron,
But
zinc,
Copper.
it could have been copper. But
Yeah,
I know that if you add iron, zinc, and quartz, and again, from the last episode, I was talking about Skinwalker Ranch. They found metal that was not a man-made metal, but it was made from natural metals that were found in the earth, but we hadn't figured out a way to fuse them.
Combine
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
like element 115. Yeah, like you remember when
Yes.
Bob Lazar was talking about they used element 115. They didn't have it then, but they have it now.
They have it
You
now.
know.
And I'm thinking maybe the mining was part of the extraterrestrials' idea. Hey, we need to get this out so we can make this, so we can do this. They don't need to know about it yet, but we need to use it.
Yeah, so then they're telling us, or we get it beamed into our head that this is a precious metal or crystal or something.
Yeah, we
And
can use it, you know,
we
find
can
a way
only
for us.
use it, yeah, to a little extent because they only give you that little
Exactly.
bit. That makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. Just enough where we say that we need it, but they need it more because they can put it all together. I like
Right.
that too. Yeah, I like that too. What
You know,
happened to your background, Xandean?
I'm gonna show you guys the UFO. If you look, I
Oh,
think
okay. All right.
I don't know if it.
And I wish I had, whenever I lived at the place where we were seeing these every night, I did not, I had a really crappy flip phone because
Right
you
there,
know,
too.
it just wasn't as advanced as it is now, you know.
How
And so I could
long
take
did
a
it take for them to get cameras on there? We only had a little crappy. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it was easily, it was between 10 and 15 years ago that I lived there.
yeah.
And if I had my phone that I have now, I could be like, okay, I would be streaming every night. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, here they are tonight, you know.
That's
you
so
kind of see it
cool.
right there.
Because I know because I have a neighbor that still lives out there that I'm still in contact with,
Yeah.
and they're still out there.
Okay, Zan, let me see. All I can see is the top of
Can
a
you
little
see?
brown
Hold on.
thing. So
Let me
hold
see if
on
I can
just
make
one
it
second.
smaller.
Let me
See where my cursor is?
fix
don't know if you can
this
see
and
it.
see if no.
There's a little white dot.
Yeah. Let me see if I can fix this.
Okay. Dynamic immersive. How do I do this? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So you go ahead and keep talking and you explain the video and it'll pop up on my thingy of what's going on. So I'll be quiet.
So yeah, right here's the rooftop, so you can get a kind of a reference, and it's just standing there, you know, right there. So where the cursor is, right there.
Yeah.
It's just white dot, but it's I saw it move there
Oh,
and it just
sure.
stayed there. And it's daytime.
Hmm.
Now what it is, I can't say what it is. You know, I just know that airplanes don't stop in the sky like that.
No,
No.
they don't.
Seagulls don't stop like that. I don't know what does.
It's
And it was
wow.
yeah. So that yeah.
And that's up above your house?
Actually in San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay, so can I put forth a question
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course.
to everyone that's here? And this is just for my own, weird tickle in my brain type of thing. To anyone who has ever been at live near an airport, what is the typical amount of time that you can hear a plane either take off or land? At how long can you generally hear that engine? If you're not on the plane, you're like at the airport or you're at a house and oh, very cool.
Oh, neat. Yeah, so that depends on how far away you are, honey, because it's the speed of sound is that you're talking about there.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're a mile away, or you're gonna hear it longer, and it'll take longer for that sound to get to you. Whereas if you're standing there at the airport, of course you're going to hear it. But let's just say that you're standing there at the airport and it takes off, and it depends on what kind of engine it is, on how far away it is how long you're going to hear it. So typically maybe like what, 2 minutes at the most is that you'll hear it afterwards. It just approximately.
Yeah. It also, depends on how in proximity you are as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's just way too many factors to kind
Many
of.
variables.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I asked.
Okay.
Day before yesterday, about 2:30 in the afternoon, I start hearing a rushing noise.
Okay.
Sounds kind of like we have train tracks that aren't that far from us that go over the river or the lake.
Right.
It started out sounded kind of like a train coming down the tracks.
Okay.
And it gradually got louder. And after about 10 minutes, it was shaking every window in the house.
What?
And very loud. And I've never been on a plane. I've never been near a plane. I don't know, but it sounds like a sound that, to make sense to me, would have been a plane kind of jet sound. It was like that for probably a little over 10 minutes.
Sounds to me like maybe there was a plane that was flying low.
We saw nothing.
Saw nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you had like some heavy duty freighter, train coming through.
No, because where I sit on the lake, if I could throw hard enough, I could hit the train bridge.
Okay.
But
yeah, and I've never heard of a train being that long.
No, and it went on from the time I first heard it to the time I could not hear it anymore. Was almost 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we went out. There was nothing in the sky. I thought for sure at one point I was like, okay, there's a big storm cell. We're not going to get the rain. We're just going to get a freaking tornado.
Right. Yeah. Because if anybody doesn't know, the sound of a tornado coming towards you is a freight train.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I went out and looked at the skies. Because the color of the sky, the wind, if it's swirling, if it's going nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
That is freaky.
And so I was
earthquake? Could we have had an earthquake? No, because I haven't heard
not
of
for
an
45 minutes.
No, I've been through earthquakes. That sounds completely different.
Yeah,
wow.
Unless it's somebody who's just working on a vehicle and got crappy exhaust.
Okay, I want to tell you the worst thing about living on the lake I lived on. The guy across the cove has an airboat.
Oh God.
And what does he use said airboat for?
Fishing.
No, frogging.
Frogging at night.
Oh my God.
10 o'clock until midnight. Every freaking night.
Wow. Assholes. All right. So,
inconsiderate.
That's weird. I don't know. That is kind of crazy and insane.
But as we're talking about batteries and things, that's what I'm like,
Could be. Because I'm sure there's, I don't know. And then Grand Lake's got, it's Grand Lake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Monsters in there. So.
Yeah.
Do they take the water at all? Because where I live, there's a small lake that there's definitely several reports where the UFOs have came and sucked all the water out.
Oh my gosh.
I
No,
don't
I've
know that
heard
there's
of
a-
water being a factor. That's why I was talking
Mhm.
about the
Yeah,
spring.
and I don't just listen to. I mean, it's like, but this they when they talk about that. But then I'm kind of like in gold country. I'm near like
Mm-hmm.
Placerville, so it's like it's woods up here. The trees, I got tall pines. Fresh open air. The skies are super clear. So you see, it's everything up here. If you go to Glass House Road, I mean, you just got to worry more about the bears and the mountain lions. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's you could see a lot.
Around
You see
here,
the,
we don't worry about the wildlife. We worried about the unnatural life.
yeah, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see up here, what you got a point. Well, the thing about it's not even though the animals up there, but they're places up where I stay, not like the city where you can just go shoot anytime. It didn't matter if it was open carry or not. It didn't matter what law it was. So you
Really?
have to be really careful out there because yeah, you could go to a spot way up
Oh.
in the mountains, like UFO hunting or whatever you're doing or sky
Mm-hmm.
watching, and you look down, there's nothing but shells right there. And
Oh,
yeah, and
that's
they can shoot
scary.
anytime. They go out and you see targets, so you go out in the woods, there's targets everywhere. The deeper you
Mm.
go. So yeah, as far as that,
Yeah.
these are the
Yeah.
Sierras got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You do
didn't
have to
mean
be
to
careful.
derail, but that has been like bugging me.
Yeah.
And while we were talking about
45 minutes.
extraterrestrials, I was like, you know what? These would be the people to ask.
Mhm.
We never, that's interesting. So like it just sounded like it was coming, but it never came, and you
Yeah.
didn't see it yet. You didn't see anything. Yeah, that's that I mean I've never heard anybody that had that experience. The only thing I could like, but when you say that, what comes to mind is like the people who did tell me of like time and dimensions, things like merging. Like I knew a lady in San Francisco who was going through intersection, and she thought she was gonna die because the car ran a stop sign. They looked at each other in the eye and thought like, oh well, this is it, and they went through each other.
Oh, wow.
And she's like,
Wow.
she was my son's friend's grandmother. I mean, like, sweet lady, like she doesn't care about any of that stuff. She just said, I'll tell you
Right.
something, and that's all, and she just said, I don't know what that was. She just was more like, how did that happen,
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think, who knows, you probably, and then there's things that are cloaked too. Here in Granite Bay, a place around here, when I used to do like ghost investigations and stuff, and I found out they're all related. Most haunted houses I went to, like 80%, 70% had seen UFOs or had some alien thing. But this one house in Granite Bay, they cloaked because these two sisters, they had their children. They would go out like in the evening time, sit on the porch, and they would see these electric balls. They said on the lawn, and said they would look at that and get kind of scared. But then they said every now and then they'd see like something, like it's touching and something, like in Predator, where you could see the little outline of it, but you
Wave.
can't see the full body. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they, and I've heard people in Auburn that seen craft like that. They said, hey, my friend was watching a farm. He's like, man, he said, take a look at this. What do you think? And but it's like he kept seeing the outline, and he thought he told me like the Predator too. He used the same example too, but
Yeah.
maybe
So
you
it-
could have had that right there. Maybe it could have
Yeah,
been just cloaked.
exactly.
Damn.
Yeah. Maybe
Mhm.
they broke down and they were working on their ship for 45 minutes, just the little mechanics out there, and they were all cloaked so that you couldn't see them.
You
Yeah,
know,
they definitely cloak. They definitely cloak. I mean, like if they know how much fanfare it causes now, like you said,
oh, for sure.
but it's ridiculous because there's like back on the funny thing with there was a kid that saw one of the aliens and he said, Mama, that's the Rainbow Man, that's the Rainbow Man. Well, if that was today, they would sit there and put that on TikTok. It's like
Oh, yeah.
that'd be something you go straight to TikTok. Or it's like if the aliens come all this way and then knock on doors and or I mean don't they know how to knock? I mean they come in through and they do everything. You would think they would know some of these things. So
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to pose something to all you guys, and Johnny, we'll start with
Yes,
you
ma'am.
on this little part of it, and then after we get done with this little subject area, we'll kind of wrap everything up. You had talked about Zan. You talked about them being pranksters, turning on and off lights and doing all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. And then, Christy, you were brought us to the whole cloaking thing. So, Johnny, what do you think about sometimes some of these haunted houses maybe aren't haunted and just it's the aliens that are cloaked that are in there messing with people?
All right. Well, could be. Yeah, I had enough paranormal encounters to think that there's a tie to the dead, the those who have passed. Is it possible? Sure. Why not? Why not? If they're looking to see what kind of a rise that they can get out of us, especially, like I said, the intergalactic college bros doing this.
We're gonna make a T-shirt that says "Intergalactic College Bros."
See, that would be viral for a short right there. Just put
Right
that on
there,
International
yes.
College and let it go. Yeah.
Yep, and so make up a shirt. There we go, and we'll get them available for order.
That's right.
Merch, baby, merch.
You do think it's possible? So then okay, all right. Before I say anything, all right. So, Christy, what about you? What do you think about that?
I think that a lot of paranormal stuff and intergalactic stuff is intertwined within each other.
Okay.
And so, yes, 100%, a haunted house could actually just be intergalactic college bros.
That's viral right there.
That's viral right there, baby. I love it. I love it. Zan, what do you think, hun?
No, I mean, after going on like many, investigations of different haunted houses, people with demons or, whatever they say, one come, one all. The one thing they all have in common is there's been some UFO activity, or there's been a spirit that's likened to that. And from all the research I've done, see, what people don't realize, they always think of the Greys, the reptilians, the Nordics, and whatever ones they basically of like 4 or 5 we think of the grasshoppers, the mantis. But really, from my research over the years, since from what I understand, there's as many as grains of sand. There's that many visiting us. Like if you took a handful of sand and you looked at the variation, there are that many. And they said surprisingly, a lot of them is more humanoid than you. There are a lot more humanoid visitors than you would think. So the ideology of humor or what they think, or any of like what we're talking about being connected, there are ones that have talked about death, what they think about God, what they say, hey, you guys, when you go, why do you go to sleep? That's temporary death. We don't go to sleep. I've heard some Greys mention that. But then if you talk about like the Nordics, or you talk about level 2 civilization, because we're like at 0.75 is from what I understand. But like a level 2 civilization, they dream together, they think together. But back to the paranormal thing is
like that.
The way they look at death and spirits and being able to connect with that. I was reading a story where the alien came back reincarnated as a lady's son, and he said, "Mom, you guys worry about death too much. Look at this." He goes out in the street and he gets hit, and she's like, "Oh my God!" But he came in another body and said, "Hey, I just want to show you that that death is not what you guys think it is." But everybody I ask in the haunted houses, they have they see the UFO, but the ghosts making things disappear and all that energy they're tapping into. I mean, portals, different dimensions. How could it not be related? We've had aliens. Yeah. We had aliens in the 50s come and say, "Hey, we're not from a planet. We're from." Think of blankets like the lakas and the tolas, which is an Indian philosophy. I know you had your Indian guests that knew the Indian culture, but the lakas and the tolas are time and dimension stacked like blankets. And they said, think of it like that. We come from a etheric place where the vibration, if we vibrate, here, then you would see us. So, them being in the house or being able to manipulate that energy going in and out of, it's all up their alley. So I would think so.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right, guys. Well, next week we will talk more about the intergalactic college bros.
I love it. Let's do
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Amazing, Johnny.
That's and we will have t-shirts out. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All
Maybe.
right, guys. Well, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here. I love how we can just go off and get into certain subject matter and just, I mean, you guys, I love you. You guys are just awesome, and you really put a lot of thought into, different theories and things, which I love. So, anywho, we will say goodbye again. Or, sorry. We will say goodbye. So thank you, Xandean, for being our special guest. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you.
Great. And we'd love it for you to come on whenever you'd like. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please, please.
okay. Awesome. And Christy, welcome back. Glad you were here. What I didn't say is, unfortunately, Janet couldn't make it because she was sick, but that's okay. We still got Johnny, and we're going to send her all our healing blessings. And then Lori, she had family stuff, which is obviously more important because family is everything. So thank you very much. You guys all have a blessed day, and we will see you next time. So love you. Bye.
If you've got a scary story you'd like to tell on Parapausal, we would love to have you on. Or if you'd like to stay anonymous, you can always email us at parapausal@gmail.com, and we will read your story on air.
Like, comment, and subscribe.